White Knuckle, or Wuckle if you're cool. You probably already know what it is if you're watching this, but if you don't, White Knuckle is a climbing horror game where you go through this big underground superstructure for some reason. I don't know the lore honestly, because to tell you the truth, I haven't played the game yet. But what's this? Why does your play timer have so many hours? Well, that's because, dear viewer, I've done nothing but play the tutorial for the last 3 days. To be more specific though, it's because, well, alright, so a bit of backstory. I have a girlfriend. She's probably watching this, I hope she is. I did think this just for her as a secret gift. But well, I've been watching her play this game for a while at this point, and I had this idea somewhere down the line of, what if no items, no upgrades? But upon asking her, so naturally, I knew what I had to do. Full disclosure, I didn't record my first attempts at this thing because I didn't really intend on making a video out of it until like maybe 2 or so hours into fucking around in game. I didn't even complete the tutorial the first night I tried this because I spent so long on this one specific jump, but well, we'll get there. First, let's go over the tutorial how it's meant to be done. To start, you'll learn to move and jump. Then the most basic mechanic, mantling, or pulling yourself onto the ledge you're holding. Climbing, or using handholds to pull yourself upwards. Crouching, to move through gaps shorter than yourself. Next, just a little bit of practice moving between handholds in various directions. Then momentum. Swing across the gap, and you've got another stretch that tests your climbing ability. Don't forget you can mantle. You then learn your hands have stamina, so you can't just hold on forever. Make it to the top of here, and jump across this ledge, and then we get to the items. You've got an inventory, encumbrance, and a couple items in this room. It lets you know their effects and the like. Practice with the pitons and hammer, and make your way up this stretch of wall. At the top, bash your way through some boards, and head through to learn about rebar, essentially a throwable handhold. Scale this tower, grab a bug, and swing across the rope to reach the end of the tutorial. So that seems pretty straightforward. I imagine it's a nice and helpful way to get used to the basic mechanics of the game so you can get started with actual runs. Now, here's what I ended up doing.
Substructure 17 maintenance
So, you're probably wondering, what in the world was that? You know, unless you've seen Itemless speedruns the tutorial already, but, also, can I just say that the regular speedrun skips this in a way I never would have imagined? Like, you can press that button with the rebar, but, you know, anyway. What in the world was that? Double jumping? Or, well, trying to, but failing quite a lot in a way that seems so tedious and frustrating? Look, I had to, so that I could impress my girlfriend and get her to see that I could absolutely win the princess's hand in marriage by completing a white knuckle itemless run. And yes, I do intend on doing a full run. This tutorial is really more of a proof of concept, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I've done it. I beat the tutorial itemless. It took a while, it was pretty clunky and tedious and not very smooth, but I did it. And that could have been good enough to just be like, huh, look, I did it. But, well, as I said, I do plan on completing the full run, and who knows what I'd have to do for that, so just beating it this one time didn't feel like enough. I had to beat it better. So I practiced. But what exactly did I practice? I mean, you've seen a run, but if you're like me and hadn't actually played the game before or only have a passing knowledge of its mechanics, I bet you were watching going, okay, so how does this all work? Well, luckily for you, I have a nice little tutorial, if you will. Okay, welcome to the tutorial part of this video. I'm having to re-record this because I fucked up my audio settings in the last one. I only realized it while I was recording. So I'm actually a little bit out of practice because it's been a couple weeks actually, since I did all of the footage for this. Most of this is itemless by default because, you know, you don't get the items until this room here. There's a couple ways to get through this room without using items. The first one that I was trying was like this, where you go. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you have to swing. Jump. Oh, okay. You like swing out and you jump up on there. But it's not particularly reliable, I don't think. Yeah. So I then, as you can see in some of the other parts, would switch to doing like this, where so I do this thing called a grab jump, I think, where you jump, and then as you grab onto the ledge, you jump again. So you basically get like a double jump. That increases your height. And then just for safety, I like to go over here. But that grab jump thing is going to be kind of the biggest tool that I've found. I discovered, and now I looked on the wiki to figure out how to do. Well, I looked on the wiki and I found a video of the itemless speedrun to figure out how to do this. But yeah, so that thing it's very useful. You have to jump and then grab the ledge, and then kind of hit the jump button right when you grab. And we'll see it more up there because that's where the real grab jumping happens. But then you can go, you can kind of grab onto that thing there, that like I-beam. So you go like, oh, okay. Hopefully I've still got that down. Okay, yeah. And so you grab onto that beam and you just pull yourself up here. Then up here, it's pretty easy. You just kind of jump. You can grab and throw these boards. I usually like to remove the first two so I can just walk in because I'm not very consistent at this, and it respawns you out here. So for this room, you know, ordinarily you grab the rebar, you throw it at those X's. But you can grab that rebar up there by doing something like that. This is what takes the longest, as you can see. Oh, and I also have accessibility controls. There, always sprint. I like to turn always sprint on, so that, you know, I don't have to worry about holding down the sprint button and getting a cramp in my hand. That was what was going on for my first couple of runs, because you do have to kind of, you know, and a lot of the times that happens. That's if you don't jump fast enough, you end up just kind of like slinging yourself right into the goop. There we go. So, yep, then you get up here, and this part, you just have to swing across to the other side. I'm kind of scared, because I have a tendency to miss the rope. But I didn't. Else that is helpful. How do you do shift tilde to open the console, and then you can enable cheats. And to help, you can set the time scale to like half, so it's slower, to practice the actual, like, you know, the sequence of events, because it does take, you have to click, and then, or you have to jump, and then click jump, right? to hit the jump. So doing it in slow motion can kind of help get that sequence of events in your mind. That's what I had to do anyway. As you can see, I'm not, and like you can see, I can get the actual jump consistently. I just can't get it in the right spot, you know. But yeah, that's useful. It's kind of fun, kind of silly too, to see everything in slow motion. But yeah. So that's the tutorial. Thanks, Past Jack. It's very informative. So now that we've seen that whole thing and you know how it works and what exactly I practiced, why don't I show you the results of my hard work?
Hello, future maintenance worker. Welcome to the substructure maintenance This exam will test your navigational and problem-solving capabilities to ensure that you
So there you have it. I told you I could. And not only did I beat it, but I got... Okay, so maybe not like super consistent or fast, given someone did this in, what, 24 seconds, but I think that was pretty good regardless. Minute 30, hell yeah. And with that, I finally feel confident enough to give a full run of Itemless White Knuckle a go. Whenever I can, actually. I have enough disk space to record all my attempts because for some reason this game records so big, and also it'll probably take quite a while. So, you know, if you want to see it, make sure you subscribe and like the video and maybe leave a comment and all that stuff. As it stands, YouTube is really just a hobby for me, so I can't exactly like lock in and work on getting a run completed and a full video scripted, recorded, and edited in any like short amount of time. So instead, I'll likely just be slowly chipping away at things in the background for now. Maybe I'll stream it either here on YouTube or over on my Twitch. Who knows? Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Anyway, fun fact, I also managed to guess like 75% of the announcer's name acronym just from my awesome guessing powers, and my girlfriend even said it was impressive, so. Yeah. Guess I didn't even need to do this video at all. Ah, shit.